druhá bude dlouhá, protože tam je házeč a nemůžu řekni nebude, ať on si rychle může pochytit zase tu situaci na ten návrat. Ať zbytečně nepředbíháme na dlouhou a nemáme takový jednoduchý návrat. Ještě speciálně po té zkušenosti z toho prvního zápasu není člověk, který by na tom ještě nemohl zrovna držet disk, protože oni rádi v té obradě hrajou takovej jako chaos právě a tím pádem se najednou člověk, který stojí uprostřed lajny, se najednou ocitne úplně volný na outra. Všichni to chceme.
Let's go, boys! Pojďte, kluci, uděláme ten spolu. Jde na ně!
Ten nemá zaplacený, takže to je hodně včil.
Je vidět, že oni mají stejný názor na ty. Ale jako, upřímně, bejt to v tomhle duchu vždycky, tak to třeba prostě jenom se pozdravit, jo, čus, jdeme hrát.
Zimmer!
Jo. Jo, silence, pojďte. Beru bát.
Hello and welcome back to the European Masters Ultimate Club Championships here in the Grandmaster Open Division. Here today we have the final placement game for the overall win of the tournament, and lining up on the field, the two teams we have are Zimmer from Great Britain and Silence 4.0 out of Czechia. And straight into the action we go with the big pull. Zimmer to field now. Straight away looking to gain some ground. Causing a bit of chaos with that sideways cut straight away with the pick. But these two teams, so far, the only loss for either of them, Silence has lost to Zimmer in the pool stage. So both having a very good run through the tournament, and Zimmer will be looking to repeat that feat of beating Silence that they managed earlier in the tournament, but Silence will want their revenge. And Zimmer so far working down the field about the halfway line, just forcing it down that far sideline so far, and a big burst of pace there to get free down the far sideline, and that is the first goal of the game. A nice clean hold for Zimmer. And as I mentioned, these two teams did play previously in the tournament. The result actually 15-7 in favor of Zimmer, so they will very much be hoping to do the same thing again. But this Silence team has a lot of deadly players on it. Will be looking to see if they can put some more of a dent into the Zimmer team, who so far have not had any games closer than a 15-8, and that was when they played against Sun. So as it stands, cruising towards this tournament victory, but you can never expect anything with Ultimate. And now time to see Silence 4.0 on the offense. Finding that gap through multiple players there, but gets the receiver. Tiny little hammer popped over the top. Fensel shooting all the way across the field. Needs a bit of a slide, but scooped in. Silence answers straight back with the hold of their own. Linart there with the reception of the goal. And a little bit of a perhaps fortune, one of those early passes sneaking through multiple players, but finding the receiver. Love the little hammer over the top of the force, just to keep that momentum going in the forwards direction for Silence. And they managed to put that one in, and that big shot from Fensel, not a shock to anyone who is familiar with this Silence team. He will be looking to take those shots towards the end zone from anywhere on the field. Silence ready with the hand in the air. Zimmer ready as well, so we will get the next point underway. Current score 1-1. Early game yet. These two teams trying to figure each other out. as Zimmer field that one into their horizontal stack now. Bit of a crossover, but works very effectively, and straight away up goes that huck and looks to be a little too far, and just too much momentum out of the back there into the fence. Tried so hard to catch that one and keep it in bounds. Not quite able to, so hopefully nothing too major. Does seem to be standing up, so looked like a nice shot, was leading the receiver well, but just ran out of pitch to run into. And Zimmer will make the injury substitution. But with that turnover, Silence have the opportunity, the first turnover of the game. So we'll see what their D-line offense is able to do there, and looks like Silence will take their allowed injury sub as well to bring Fensel onto the field. And he is going to want to get that disc in hand and inevitably take the shot. See what Zimmer can do to stop it as we are checked back in. There's an immediate nice cut all the way over towards the near sideline. Nice movement in the backfield from Silence, and up goes the huck, and you've got to find Fensel of everyone just sneaking his way all the way along the field. I think either receiver could have had it, but Fensel taking that one, and that is the Silence break, and potentially the most pressure that Zimmer have been under all tournament so far. 2-1 to Silence. And they get another chance to throw the defensive line out at Zimmer. Looks like Fensel will keep. No, my mistake. He is back off the field. Silence now with the front foot in this game, just sorting out their defensive plan. Looks like it is going to be a match defense as up goes the pull straight down the middle of the field, drifting over towards the left side. Nicely done there, but well fielded by Zimmer and looking to get some movement going. Looks like that might even be a bit of hex offense there out of Zimmer. Moving the disc backwards now, just trying to keep the forward momentum. Not liking the look of that deep cut. Started a bit too deep, but finding a nice big under gainer towards the sideline, and now resetting back. Nicely done face in there, just shaking free, but not able to find him. Biltner has the disc in hand. Potentially still count rising here. Not sure what the call was. Everyone just trying to figure out what the outcome is here. sending the players that moved even further back. So I'm guessing a very early pick is what we're dealing with here. Just trying to reach the right conclusion here as Zimmer will bring the disc back in. Bildner looking for the reset, doesn't get it immediately. Having to pop that one through, does find Faison this time, and he shoots around. Nice leaky forehand shot into the end zone. Level us up here at 2-all. Zimmer getting free for the goal. I think, though, Silence can be happy with that one. Putting a bit of pressure on. Yes, it was mostly just down that open side, but if they can make a couple of small adjustments, put a bit more pressure on, they're doing well to rally and make Zimmer really work for this so far, as we see the congregation of Zimmer players over on the far sideline, likely discussing how they can improve their offense, because they're going to want to put their foot down here and try and take this game away like they have done multiple times so far this tournament. Putting the pull up now, we'll see what the defensive plan is. It's a nice one there, hard to field. And charging down the near sideline at the moment. And up goes that shot. It's just out of reach. Not able to reel that one in. A nice effort there from Fensel. But off the fingertips, and now Zimmer's turn. Will they be able to get the break back straight away? Bringing the disc to the front now. We see Ford, the cutter, likely isolated in this set. Immediately striking deep, and Lord now in the center of the field. Nice dish. Wanting to look deep, but not having the option immediately. That one hucked out the side of the field. Just not coming out of the hand the way the thrower wanted. And Zimmer back onto defense. Silence given a second chance at this point, and just shooting all the way, and requires some fancy footwork, but very nicely done by Medek. Keeping that one in bounds. Keeping Silence on top in this game. Silence 3, Zimmer 2. And Silence very much here to play. Silence, the team initially formed back in 2010 for the World Club Championships. Nowadays just coming together more for beach tournaments and the like. They also have a team in the Masters division. So a big roster across the board. A lot of players originally playing for other Czech club teams, but as I say, coming together for things such as this, and Masters the prime location for it. Bring a few club teams together. We'll be looking to take down Zimmer. No one has been able to do it so far. Zimmer with the disc in there, and so nice inside shot there. Deep cut goes and is miscommunicated, and the disc goes up, but I don't think that's going to come back in, and no, it isn't. Zimmer giving Silence another gift of the disc. Zimmer perhaps feeling a little too confident so far going into this game. walking this disc up to just short of the halfway mark, all the way over on the far sideline where that huck went out of bounds. See what Silence can do here to get off this sideline. They're immediately looking towards that back of stack, but do take the reset in the end. Disc in the center of the field now. Silence will be much happier there. Quick pop and then a nice floaty shot over the reset defender, not letting anyone else get involved in that one. Bit of contact there in the reset space, but they continue playing. However, looks like that one might go back to the thrower where that contact happened. Stecker bowled over a little bit. The disc will stay with the receiver. Silence just immediately shooting the inside out backhand, but positioning in favor of Zimmer and nicely cleaned up there. And an interesting decision to just immediately shoot that high release floaty backhand, perhaps a bit of a miscommunication with the intended receiver. Zimmer get the disc back in their hands. And that inside out shot has been killer so far. Nice swing across to Faison. Good movement here from Zimmer, finally able to get a big forwards gainer pass. Wobbles that one forwards. Shooting to the end zone and finally able to put that one away. Bildner with the shot to the end zone, and Zimmer do get the hold to take us to 3-all in this game. But I have to say, I'm sure that this is not as comfortable as Zimmer have been finding their other games. Their offense looking a little wobbly at times, having to escape some difficult situations stuck on the sideline. And Silence will very much be thinking they are capable of taking this one down. It's easy to see after a 15-7 loss in the previous game that it might be hard to build that belief up as a team that they can win this, but doing a very good job to prove to themselves that they can do it so far. And now Silence's turn to march back down the field. See what they go for here. The shot goes up, a lot of defensive pressure, and it is bobbled. I believe that's going to be a foul. Foul accepted there. Bit too much contact on that outside shoulder with the bid. Disc stays with Rzecznik. Nice little hammer swing and another one for good measure. Silence feeling good, but there is the layout block, and successful this time. Wanting to get going quickly, but no one else on the same page. Zimmer though in a great position. Nice little pop forwards there. Good bit of movement from Zimmer, gaining some momentum, and there is maybe some contact downfield.
Well done! Sam Norn, well done! Everyone look at Sam Norn! He wants every cut!
Oh yeah, a bit of a hobble there off the pitch from Ford there. So getting that injury sub in. Looks like Silence want to make their own change as well. Just get some fresh legs on where Zimmer have done the same. Let's see what structure Zimmer can get into here. Not liking the first look and immediately throwing that one to the turf. And the player streaking deep, but Silence not immediately able to capitalize. But Zimmer so far throwing away their opportunities to really get stuck into this game. Pencil looking to run the offense as he has done, and there is the shot all the way, and wide open is the receiver. Reznik there just escaping his mark, scoring that fourth goal for Silence 4.0. And that takes us to Silence 4, Zimmer 3. And Zimmer going to have a bit of a think about this D-line offense. Really need to start converting if they want to show what they're capable of in this game. But so far, Silence are looking the better team. So prepping again both sides as the pull goes up. Once again straight down the middle. Looks like that one is going to drift all the way out of the back of the end zone. So will be brought up to the brick mark a third of the way down the field. Nice slow start so far. This Zimmer side has been crossing over these two central cutters straight away. Looks like Silence reacting with a bit of a handler sag to try and stop that, but the immediate deep cut, and that one is definitely going to be contested, but likes the receiver, and why not when they can just do that? Nicely taken down by Berry. Nice set play from Zimmer. Leveling up the game and leveling it up very quickly. Getting that Silence O-line straight back out on the field. So this will be a good time for Zimmer to try and capitalize. But so far, they've been able to get the turns. They've been able to get the disc off of Silence, but not able to convert on the break chances as yet. But I very much imagine we will see that change at some point and get some more breaks in this game. Probably from both sides, because Silence have been looking good and I think are very hungry for the win in this game. Up goes the pull from Zimmer, nicely arcing all the way into the end zone. Fielded well though, in the hands of Silence. Swung across to the far sideline, a nice inside shot. Well taken, just past the halfway line. Big pressure from the force, making Silence go backwards, but there is the hammer. They love that cheeky little hammer. Faking it once again. Center of the field now, big fakes. Nice movement. Sneaking free is Orban. Goes for the center and swatting at it, but not able to stop it. Silence squeezing us through some small gaps, and of course, Fensel sneaking his way into the end zone, and it had to be another hammer for the goal. Silence looking very confident out there, just taking these slightly more ambitious shots. Not even ambitious, just creative. They're getting the job done and they're executing very well. And that is what you need to beat a team that has been playing very consistently all tournament. Get a little unorthodox, do something that they're not so practiced against. And Silence finding success with the hammers. So if I'm Zimmer, probably wanting to start forcing the other direction, force Silence to that backhand side. That allows your downfield defenders to stand on the side where the hammer is most deadly, and if Silence decide they also have the scubas in them, then you're going to have to adapt once again, but worth a try in my book, as we do see this Silence line preparing their defense, lining up opposite their matchups. Pull going up, that one nice and high and arcing. Well fielded though after the landing, looking to get free, isolated, not working straight away, but good decision to reset. A huge undercut coming all the way down the field. Nice moves from Zimmer. Good leading shot in the center of the field again now, swinging across to the far side. Zimmer, good patience. Need to find a little bit of structure in the downfield, and a big bump on the force. So it looks like we'll reset the stall count back to 0, and vertical calls from Zimmer. I'll have to see if they can get into that structure, and they do so initially. Nice, finding some flow again. Bit of pressure under that one, but that is a nice give and go move. Not quite able to find the end zone straight away, but might on this occasion. Momentum carrying the Zimmer player towards the line, and that pop wobbling so much. Only 2 rotations on that in its entire flight. And another little pop pass into the end zone. Very nicely done from Zimmer in that small space just outside the end zone. And in the end, Colin able to dish to Biltner to level us up again, 5-all. Trading ever since that break from Silence to make it 2-1. Neither team able to get the better of the other since then. But exactly what we're here to see, a close competitive final between these two teams. And Silence will be thriving on what I'm sure they'll think is some frustration from Zimmer. Zimmer knowing that they are capable of doing better than this. That frustration creeps in, brings a bit of energy for Silence, and we have ourselves a game. Pull drift into the center of the field. Nice initial play from Silence, moving down the near sideline, having to watch the feet a little bit and shooting that one, arcing shot, but asking a lot of Fensel, and he just has to hop out of bounds and catch that one and immediately give it back to Zimmer. Not quite able to get the shape on that one. Zimmer slowly walking the disc in, looking to get some movement going, but a big poach off of the handlers and the far side cutters, so gonna have to find something here. They do so by going backwards and all the way across the field. Player poached wide open on the far sideline is Barnard over there, and he can likely just stay there. He's going to sneak free deep. Does open up the lane. Nicely done. There is Lord with the dish back as well. There is a blading shot and an incredible grab, and immediately shooting wants it all, but that is going to require a lot from Lord, but he has it in him, and Zimmer do manage to get that break back. The big shot from Barnard. Very nicely done, and Sam Lord taken well, as we see, having to bail that one out, no hesitation, sees a target he likes, and I have to say Sam Lord is going to chase down those discs very well if you let him. And on this occasion, Barnard able to connect after that scooping layout grab to keep the possession in Zimmer's hands. And there is the break to put us back on serve in this game. Zimmer 6, Silence 5. And looks like we have a timeout here, so we will have a short break until the action starts back up. Don't go anywhere. So after that timeout, Zimmer looking to send out the most fresh D-line they have available here. See if they can get themselves another one. And Silence need to answer with the hold. That pull drifting just outside the back of the end zone. Pulls going out of the back of both end zones in this game, so some interesting wind conditions must be out there. But bring it to the brick mark. And calls of hammer from the sideline. They know that Silence want to get that overhead out, but not this time, just taking that open flick. It looks like definitely a poachy set, perhaps even a zone. Just trying to cause a bit of chaos, Zimmer, but Silence doing well to just move the disc so far. Nice grab there, looking for the hammer, doesn't go for it in the end, will just take the centering pass. And you can see that the Silence players want to take the big shot just out of the reach of the bidding defender. That is a lovely pass through, and these two will be able to just dish it between each other straight into the end zone for the Silence hold and to level the game back up at 6 goals each. Zimmer trying something a bit different there with the defense. Not quite a full-on zone, but definitely lots of switching and trying to clog those lanes. Dare I say Clapham-esque. But Silence able to find the gaps in that one. Very nice left-handed flick, found a big gainer all the way through, and then the two Silence players able to complete a couple more passes uncontested into the end zone for the goal. So closing in on halftime now. The first team to hit 8 points will trigger halftime, and Zimmer will come out on defense after that halftime. So Silence will have the disc, which means both sides will very much want to take that halftime as we get an immediate pick. That stack is more of a bunch, so defenders not able to get through anywhere. Trying to isolate a player off the front, does manage to shake free. A nice step through and a nice grab, and flipped all the way down the field straight away. Great gainer there from Zimmer. Looking at the reset now. Big slash across the field, and that is a little floaty lefty. Has to be scooped up off the ground, but is done so successfully. Nice find from Zimmer, and that one just going to milk it into the end zone. Very nicely done from Zimmer. So 7-6 the current score. Zimmer with the advantage, and if they could put this break in, it would do very well for their chances in this game. Just trying to build a little bit of an advantage in the first half, but putting some good pressure on for now. But Silence happy to move the disc around, but that one is popped just behind the receiver. A little ambitious of a throw from Medek, and Zimmer have less than half the field to go. Now about a third of the field to go as they immediately get us moving, faking that hammer. Fensel on the force, looking to pop it now. Nicely done. Just keeping that disc moving. What Zimmer want to do. Striking there. High grab, taken down well. And the shot goes to the back corner, and that is there. The break for half. And exactly as I said, that was what Zimmer wanted. They take half 8-6. And an exciting half so far. Zimmer finally managing to find a bit more of their footing towards the end of it. Ramping up into this game after being broken earlier on. So we'll have to see what the second half looks like. But while the teams take an opportunity to discuss what their plans are going to be, we will take the opportunity to have a quick break, and we'll be right back with the second half. Welcome back to the finals of the Grandmaster Open division here in Vienna. Zimmer finally taking an assertive lead to go up 8-6 in this game after a bit of a shaky start. Back onto what we probably would have expected on paper, but Silence have been putting up a very good fight, and both teams will have been discussing how can they improve for this second half, and I think that Silence have a bit more in the tank and will definitely be wanting to fight their way back in. But first port of call is score this offensive point out of the half time. Zimmer though will be looking to keep that pressure on, and the pull goes up and drifting all the way towards the back of the end zone. Very nice, and chased down well, and looks, yeah, big pressure towards the disc. Does find the dish in the end. Nice resetting so far from Silence. Lead pass down the sideline, and big holster and looking for that blade. They really like that shot, and Fensel wants to be there, and he takes the hammer and grabbed with confidence from the knees by Reznik. Very nicely done from Silence, working down the near sideline until Zimmer clamped down, and then that big arcing forehand all the way across the field. Fensel saw it developing, and his defender thought, oh, I can go help out on the open side, but Silence knew that they would gladly go for that big swing across the field, and then Fensel finding the hammer throw as well. Nicely done from Silence. Looking to fire back now. Will want to try and get this break back sooner rather than later if they can. Silence. But Zimmer have very much been ramping up into this game with the spin pull there. That one going to be awkward to catch, but fielded very well. Nice moves from Zimmer. Looking to continue, nothing there immediately, takes the reset option. Bit clogged in the middle of the field, but a nice little pop there, and good moves from Stobbs, but scooped up and right outside the end zone now. Disc in the hands of Lord, he dishes backwards, wanting to shoot towards the end zone, not finding it immediately, and that one, it's going to have defensive pressure, but not enough. That is a very nice find from Whitehouse to take Zimmer up 9-7. Just continually finding the gaps through the Silence defense. Zimmer very much firing on all cylinders at this point, I'd have to say, especially that O-line looking confident, and now this D-line after that little run of breaks just before the halftime will be hungry for more. Silence though, very capable O-line here. Fensel has been doing a lot of work. Need to keep themselves in this game. With the poachy set again, but that is a huge cannon of a shot, and it's going to be absolutely perfect to within a couple of the meters of the back of the end zone. Reznik there with the shot to Lenart. big cannon of a forehand hook, and needed to beat the defender and take away any chance of a sky ball into the path of the receiver. Very nice looking throw, and nice to have that quick conversion from Silence. Make the Zimmer O-line get back on the field. See if the Silence D-line can put some pressure on and take advantage of what might be some slightly more tired legs, especially as we continue into this, the last game of the tournament. The tournament structure quite often a game of endurance. Who can continue their momentum all the way to the end of the tournament weekend? So far, Zimmer on top, but only by 1 point. Zimmer now finding their footing in this offensive point, going backwards for now, but creating a lot of space for each other. Lord just hugging this near sideline. Nice center there, and up goes the lefty flick hook, but it is way out the side of the field, and Whitehouse liked the look of it out of the hands, but was not to be. Even Lord could not reel that one in, a few meters out of his range. And Silence have the disc. Now, we know that early in the game they were doing quite a good job of proceeding down the field with their D-line offense. So if they can do that once again, they might be able to tie this game up. And the disc coming in right on the near sideline, immediately popped into the center of the field, and a nice continuation from a long undercut. And Fensel has run of the races here. He's lost his defender, but the deep shot goes up and there's no one under it. And Silence do get the break back to level up the game at 9 goals each. Stecker there shooting to Koscheler. Very nicely done, and this game much closer than anyone probably would have predicted, but especially closer than Zimmer would have wanted, and they have not been tested like this so far this tournament. 9 points on the board from Silence, and that is more than any team has scored against Zimmer all tournament in a single game. So feeling the pressure now, Zimmer must be. But 9-all, Zimmer still with the advantage as they start the next point on offense, but close for comfort. But that is exactly how we like it as spectators. We want to see the fireworks as the game stays close. Out will come the highlight plays, I'm sure. We've had a couple already. Layout grabs, nice big hucks. But Zimmer will just be wanting to keep it simple here. Go for that immediate crossover that they've done so many times. Not able to find it on this occasion until the cut is all the way on the far sideline. And Silence looking to trap here. That's a nice inside shot though. Big forehand fake and dishes that one forward. It's going to require an athletic grab, but does get there. A little tumble. Looking for that reset now. Nice find into the center of the field to Whitehouse, and he just pops a little backhand across. Has to be saved, but nicely done. And moving the disc now all the way across the field, and that one so close now to the end zone. Finally pops, and a nice outstretched arm there takes the goal. Zimmer snagging that one from the side of the end zone. Basin with the assist. Zimmer 10, Silence 9.
Já jsem se zrovna otočil v jednu chvíli.
Tam to chtělo i, aby se zařval třeba jak Martinovi ze Zimmerovi chytal ten červok, tak tam byl Čiči. A my jsme na to byli připraveni, když jsem prostě na kraj liney. Jo, ale Jirko, musíme nahézu prostě.
Zimmer's offense there looking mostly clean. Had to scoop up a couple of stray discs, but on the whole, making the right moves, finding a lot of momentum across the fields, and in the end able to score with just a short dish, and they won't complain about that as their own pull goes up, that big arcing backhand pull. Centered now, looking to get some forwards movement, only able to go sideways so far. And that shot required a little bit of footwork, but nothing too fancy. Stays with Silence, and there is a call downfield, a foul called, a bit of contact in the cutting space. So the disc will go backwards a bit. Players on the field just figuring out what the resolution needs to be. Grayson keeping the disc in his hand until it is decided what's happened, and gives back to Silence. Ready to check the disc in now. And immediately looking for that center. And defensive pressure is building from Zimmer, but Silence still able to advance forward with a big bump on the catch. Another one. Fensel now with the disc in hand. He just takes the short dish. Surprising from him, but he gets it straight back. And nice continuation across the field. That is very good looking play from Silence. The hammer fake is there, and the massive blade that is indoors. We are outdoors. Can someone tell that man? That is crazy. The hammer gets faked and the fake gets dissuaded. But Medek decides, I can just throw the blade instead. And Peschke gladly reels that one in to equalize again. 10 goals each. What a game we have here in the final of the Grandmaster Open Division. Way to kick off the finals for this European Masters Ultimate Club Championship. Very nice stuff out of Silence, and as I said earlier, that bit of creativity, that bit of flair is what will get them past this Zimmer side. This well-drilled Zimmer side will be so used to playing against conventional Ultimate, but Silence starting to mix it up a bit. And Zimmer struggling to shut it down as that pull goes up high but drifts out of bounds and will be bricked by Zimmer. And making the most of just being able to walk this one in, set up the offense. Will we see that crossover in the middle of the field again, or will we see the immediate deep strike that we've also seen? Not the crossover. There we go, a nice find there. Disc with Berry looking to reset, just popping backwards 2 stops. Nice force there, forcing Zimmer to go backwards, and a foul straight away called as the thrower tries to pivot back in the other direction, and defender gets very much in the way, but disc checked back in just with the 0 stall count, and looks like another call, the foul again. I think perhaps a bit aggressive on the check. And just getting the disc moving again. Nice lead pass. Great underneath gainer there. Zimmer finding their flow. And as I say that, they take the shot. Going to require a read, but they have that in the bag. And Zimmer deciding that they can throw some creative stuff too. Faison there with the shot and reeled in by Con. And perhaps not the most textbook offense that Zimmer have run, but effective nonetheless. Zimmer 11, Silence 10. We really have a game on our hands here. And it feels like this is becoming a bit of a war of attrition as the game drags on in this heat. Who will be able to outlast the other team? We are going to go all the way to the time cap, inevitably. A long game out there. Up goes the pull. Just that vertical stack and a nice little inside dish. Looking good immediately out of the gate from Silence, but what a crazy bid. That was unreal from Greer. A name that has not popped up yet this game, but could end up being a very important one. Trying to find the reset, has to flip it over the top of the force. Finds a wide open player right in the center of the field and pops into the end zone for the goal. And Zimmer get the break back. What a crazy layout block that was. My goodness. Greer, stand up. Here we go. We see it coming in. Marking Fensel. Just knows that Fensel wants the disc and manages to bid around the outside shoulder. And then this pop over the force just off the fingertips. Finding that shot there. Very important. And an easy dish into the end zone for the goal in the end. Ford finding Bildner. And it looks like we have another timeout potentially for these teams to discuss what's been going on. So whilst they have a quick break, we will take one here too. But we will be right back when the next ball goes up.
Noisy with the knowledge.
Zimmer able to provide themselves with that small amount of a buffer, taking the lead up to 12-10. They did manage to have a 2-point lead earlier in the game, but Silence ate it back up, but now back on top and a bit more comfortably are Zimmer, and that one will be bricked. The vertical stack out of Silence, and just some match defense here from Zimmer. And we've seen the plays they're capable of with that huge layout D on that undercut. Disc is in for Silence, not able to find the first option from the front of stack, but finds the cutter coming all the way behind the disc and then gets the disc back. Shooting downfield, Fensel now, he's going to want to take that big blade, but faking off all the options so far. He wants it back. Big, loud calls. And so far, Silence unfazed, able to just keep the disc moving. Nice movement. And just shoots for the end zone. It's off the fingertips of the receiver. Not able to reel that one in. And looks like there is an injury call from Zimmer. Need a refresher on the hand signals. So just going to find a replacement for the injured player. Hopefully nothing too major as we get into the closing stages of the game and of the tournament. Just once again figuring out what the outcome should be here, and I think they're just deciding that they'll allow people to spread out a bit before they come and check the disc in. And the disc is back in with Zimmer right on the front cone, and no immediate options, not even backwards. Having to float that one into their own end zone, a bit precarious here. Not where you want to be, and not able to find the reset, but that is a nice lead pass into space, and up goes the huge huck. There's two receivers there, and surely that's another one on the board for Zimmer. And they make it 13-10. What a lovely shot from Faison. And Zimmer reeling that one in. Zimmer did so well there. They were forced all the way to the back of their end zone within a couple of meters, but nice little leading pass to Faison, and his fake of the forehand was enough to open up that inside out backhand huck shot, and he sends it all the way down the field to Zimmer and takes Zimmer even further into the lead of this game. And that is going to be another timeout, I believe. These teams making the most of those timeouts that they are allowed. And so while they have a break, we will have a break too, and be right back with the next point. players clearing the field now, ready to go as we are in the closing stages of the game. Zimmer have had a bit of a rally to take the lead, 13-10 here in the final of the Grandmaster Open Division. 3 in a row for Zimmer, and they will be looking for another one as they send that pull. And stopped with the foot well. Silenced with the disc in hand in the centre of the field. Just looking for some movement. They managed to swing towards the near side. And a poach block there. A lot of contact, but players will get back up. I think just the contact between the two Zimmer players. Very nice poach block. Looking to continue all the way to the end zone. Big strike there, but not taken initially. Looking for another one. Still not quite in. Foot on the end zone line. But that's not enough in this sport. Looking to reset and go backwards now. Just looping around, and in the end has to dish with the left hand. And flipped into the end zone. And Zimmer get another one on the board. Sam Lord flipping the disc to Stu Greer. Very nice from Zimmer. They have finally stamped their authority on this game, and that is the 4th point in a row. And they can taste the championship right now. 1 point away are Zimmer. Silence going to have to rally here. A very strong performance from both sides has been such an entertaining affair for us, the viewer. But Zimmer now finding their footing in this game, in these late stages, and they will want it all right now. Just sorting out their defensive set. Will Silence be able to put this one in, or will Zimmer be able to close the game out? We'll find out very shortly as up goes the pull. Big floating backhand from Faison is going to stay in bounds this time and covered well. The centering does almost the Callahan straight off the bat, and the opportunities just giving themselves to Zimmer, not quite able to take them though. Silence with the turnover right on their own brick mark, and Zimmer will have a textbook end zone set with the potential of finishing this game. Looking to isolate a player right off the front and no help from the defense. Just need to pop something into the break side, but they've managed to clog it, unfortunately. Nice movement from Faison. He shoots to the end zone. Faison to Zimmer yet again, and that is the 15th goal, and that is the game to Zimmer. A valiant effort from Silence. They must have had Zimmer worried, managing to take them all the way to 10-all. But Zimmer in the end showing their class, scoring the last 5 points in a row to finish the game and the tournament out. But a very entertaining game from both of these teams with some big highlights. Couple of layout grabs and some very impressive creative throws. But an excellent performance from both sides. Exactly what we came here to see. Congratulations to Zimmer for taking the victory in this one. Stick with us. We have 3 more finals coming up in the Women Open and Mixed divisions. My name has been Jamie Rabetz. Thank you very much for joining us here in Vienna. See you next time.